Alright, Black. Yeah, back for another Blind Legacy League match. Let's see if we can have some good games. This hand has a lot of powerful spells in it. This is much better. It's tough. I think the answer is I'm going to throw back Tyrant Scorn. I'd be sad if they're playing something like Dark Depths. Reanimator. Okay. Luckily, well, unfortunately, Tyrant Scorn would have also been good against this card, but what are you going to do, I guess? Mask. Okay, so they'll have a Chancellor on one. So we're gonna run. How many turns do we have? We'll see what we draw. We might run a Ponder into it on one, or we might run a Snapcaster into it on two, depending on what we draw. Alright, we're gonna run Ponder into it on one. So we have a few outs here. Tyrant Scorn and Trophy both deal with it. We can draw Oko, I think, but maybe not Jace. Yes, I would like to pay. Okay, we're going to need lands. So it's gonna have to be in our top three after this shuffle. Man, imagine if we'd kept the other card, the Tyrant Scorn. We do have 4 outs. No redraws. That is none of them. Okay. So it's actually very rare that turn 1 Chancellor is enough, and unfortunately it was that time, because we made the wrong choice. Given the matchup. Okay, so sideboarding. Plague Engineer is not exciting. Tarmogoyf and Punishing Fire are not exciting. Abrupt Decay is not exciting. Granite 6 is not exciting, and we cut a Grove because we're cutting the Peak Fires. Okay, so what do we want? Well, we want the Grave Hate for sure. Oops, not Pyroblast. And we want Assassin's Trophy because it deals with anything. A free counterspell, a Leovold, and a Notion Thief. Keep in 1 Tarmogoyf, 1 Ren. It's also possible, so maybe on the play, I'll play a Veil over Tarmogoyf, but on the draw, I don't think Veil is very good, and I'll bring in the Tarmogoyf back in. Yeah, this matchup is, I think, actually quite good. It's not common that I end up losing this matchup. This hand is... like, this is a hand that plays Magic, and before London Mulligan I would have kept this hand, but I think with the London Mulligan you're not supposed to keep a hand like that. Right, this hand is better. It has something to do on turn 1 at least. And I'll throw back, I think, Dak. I want to keep an answer to their nonsense. There's a question of whether I get a Badlands here or an Underground. I think the answer is Underground C, so that I can ponder and potentially shuffle if I draw like another fetch. So hopefully they only have one way of putting away a guy, like a 1 and 2 or something like that. So we can take that. And then their plan is much slower. But it's possible they have some redundancy. Well, I guess I take... Man, I don't think Stronghold Gambit is very good. I'm gonna... it just means I have to hold this Snapcaster for as long as possible. Or until I can take the Stronghold Gambit out of their hand. That was a pretty good draw. Now if they draw a creature, they're pretty... Ugh. Man, that's so bad for me. Oh, that's much better for me. If they're... Yeah, that's interesting. I would expect them to go with Reanimator there. Interesting. Huh. I'm very surprised that they did not take Snapcaster Mage if they're holding Stronghold Gambit. But whatever. That's fine. No Stronghold Gambit here, I guess. Oh no. I guess I'll bomb my yard. Elk. Elk. Oko, nice. I like that if they put in anything that doesn't deal with Oko, it's just going to be an elk. Although, unfortunately, this Scavenging Ooze is just going to be a 2/2. Interesting. Now they're highly disincentivized from putting a creature in the yard. Yeah, so what do they do here? Like, if they attack Oko, that's fine, I get to put them to 4. I have Scavenging Ooze in play. If they don't attack Oko, then it just makes a food. Oh, that's not bad. Close game. Close game. Okay, so they have to have something, otherwise I'm just gonna hit them for 5 and kill them. That's fine. This probably has to get Faithless Looting, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they do from here. Elk. Got him. Alright. So that was, we got a little unlucky and then a little lucky, so, you know, kind of evened out or something. It's very good to be aware of that card that they have there. So that means so normally I like having red because it's inevitability, but I'm gonna play Tarmogoyf just to be a little bit more set against, excuse me, Stronghold Gambit. And that's something we should also take into consideration if we have to mulligan. We don't. This hand is quite good, but that is something to generally take into consideration. When you're putting something back, do you put back, well, what kind of card do you put back, you know? Okay. So I wonder if they have Stronghold Gambit and they take Snapcaster, or if they have like a Faithless Looting and take Force of Will, or Tyrant Scarn. Yeah, they have one of their cards is Chancellor. So the only way they get a guy into play this turn is if they have Stronghold Gambit, which means they have to take Snapcaster. Okay, so they do not, but that's fine. I'm going to play this to play around Magus of the Moon. It's a card they sometimes play. This is fine. That's a nice one to have. There's a question about what to get with Delta here. And I think I'm just going to get a duel, specifically Underground Sea. And use Brainstorm to crack their thing. Okay, cool. Don't think I want deck just now. Okay. But maybe I will next turn want deck. This way I can hold up Spell Snare for this turn and next. And getting down deck is really, really powerful. Okay, so we're going to play deck, leaving up, I think, Underground Sea. I don't think there's a huge difference between drop and Underground Sea, but we do want to leave up blue. So let's just start looting. Finding cards that say win the game. Okay, so we don't need either of those. Dak will act as a cantrip. Snapcaster Mage ends the game, and will also just continue to be a cantrip. So yeah, I will say that game one was not very typical. I'm not saying you usually win game one. I'm saying that usually when that's their start, they don't. I'm gonna keep the land here. Yeah, usually when that's their start, they don't win. They win more often than you do, but it's usually on the back of Grizzlebrand and not that Chancellor. I'm gonna brainstorm here because I do want to cast. I do want to counter this. I also want to shuffle and fetch a swamp. So again, the fetching of the swamp is just to play around Magus of the Moon, which they might have. Oko. So now anything they make will be an elk. I guess I could have kept this trophy and like ulted deck, and they probably can't win. I'm just gonna brainstorm here. If I find something that targets, then I super don't care. Okay. Yeah, I just don't care. But I guess I will show you my Snapcaster Mage. Alright, so we got there against Black-Red. Hopefully you learned something. Most of these decks don't play Stronghold Gambit, so the play patterns were a little different than normal. But that was fairly typical. I think this matchup is actually pretty favorable. And I don't know if you talk to Eric Landon if he would agree, but I think he would agree that I have a very positive record against Black-Red Reanimator specifically, even when he's the one playing it. Anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by, and hopefully you join for the next one.